Hi, everyone. Welcome to Marianne's Mystic Mansions with me, Marianne. Thank you very much for taking the time to stop in today. I am going to be reading for the sign of Cancer, and I'm reading the May 2025 reading. And wow, May, yes, I feel beautiful. I feel excited. I feel extremely thankful and grateful. I feel heart activation, and that's why I brought out the green, and it has to do with you, Cancers, because you are very, very sensitive, very loving, very compassionate. You are, ruled by the moon. That's one of the more deeper sensitivities we can have. It is the feminine. It is our internalizing things. It's our deepest wants and desires, right? Your moon sign. And the way the moon actually does affect every single one of us that's living on this planet. And especially you, because it's your ruling planet. So that means you are very in tune with the currencies and the waves and the moods and the changes, and it can be overwhelming, right? But you're strong, you represent the crab, so there's this hard kind of outer crustacean, but inside there's just this very vulnerable, loving spirit. And it doesn't matter whether you're a female or a male. You know what I'm speaking of. You love family. You represent the mother of the astrology. And I don't know, May it's happening. It's finally, we had so many retrogrades, Cancer. It was really something. I felt it more than I ever remember in the years past. And it doesn't happen like this every year, obviously. We have retrogrades every year. We have similar things happening, but this year was more than I remember, although my memory is not as good, I admit it. And we actually had Mars in your sign for a good amount of time because it was in retrograde. It was direct in your sign, went into Leo, retrograded in Leo, went back into your sign in retrograde, went direct, finally left yours and went direct into Leo, just in the last week. It's been a lot. And by the way, it's not particularly comfortable Mars is not comfortable in the sign of Cancer because of what I said. Not that you can't be, strong and confident and all that about how you feel and speak your mind. I'm sure you can, especially if you have other placements that would, be conducive to that. It's not normally something that you're really excited to do. It's just like to fight about it, to be extra aggressive. But it doesn't always have to mean that either. It could mean that you felt yourself motivated more. It does have to do with the energy. It affects all of us, no matter what sign it's in. But when it's in your own sign, of course, you're going to notice it too much. It may have been to a point with almost too much, where you felt a little more anxiety filled or something. Well, that's calm down. We're in Taurus season. That's very, very complimentary for you as an earth sign. We had the new moon just happen, where you write down those intentions and you say, this is what I want to plant, the seed I want to plant, the intention I want to plant. I'm not going to feel rushed about it. I'm not going to feel anxious about it. I'm not going to feel overly aggressive. I'm just going to allow nature to take its course, and that grounded, I trust. And I want to be out in nature more. And I want to be by the sea because water means a lot to you, right? So yeah, that's kind of the beautiful energies that I came into the reading with. And I always talk to the sign I'm about to read for. And it was definitely hard. This represents the color, and which is why I wear the gloves with color, because they're energy. And I'm very interested in energy of all kinds. I'm a Reiki master practitioner. I do massages 5 days a week for many years now. Everything has energy. So we're going to do a little ritual. I do, not a ritual, but kind of a structure. And I've shortened it up a little bit, believe it or not. And I have a more lengthy astrological little sit down and conversation and collective that I do on Mondays. If you'd love to join, I would love to have you. However, this is shorter now and more to the point. Let's get on to your reading. I start with your chakra check for the month, or spirit wants you to know about. Now, the last one was the crown chakra. It's come up twice now for the month of May. But basically, I just hold it behind my back. There are 8 chakras that I speak of specifically. And on the card, it has a beautiful saying or mantra that can help open up that particular energy center to be its fullest most vibrant self. You know, these are naturally there. And when we utilize them to their full extent, we are the best versions of ourselves. Okay, so let's see what Spirit wants you to know about, specifically focused on the chakra of the month, which is going to be for you. Oh my, the same one. And I did several little moves. So, well, it's convenient because I happen to have it already in my necklace, which is the chakra and the correlating crystal. But more importantly, it makes sense because this is about your intuition. This is about your gifts that you get naturally as a water sign. This is something you've lived with your whole life. And sometimes I think it's a gift, but sometimes people think it's a lot. So it's being able to I want to say, control the amount of energy that you need to exude every day, or the feelings and things you get from other people, to allow yourself the time to stop and to rejuvenate. Water signs need that desperately. Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, all of you have the ability to really just kind of know. You have this sixth sense, you know, call it ESP, all those things. Dreams get very profound for you. More specifically, I think, for Cancers than any other water sign. But this is the seventh chakra, which is the crown chakra, the very top. We start from the base upward. And it's how we connect with spirit, with our higher power, with source, with God, with Gaia, all those, ways that you can explain it. There is power, and we're all always connected. It's always a co-creative energy happening. And this represents that. And it's the top chakras represent generally, mostly, our ability to have the third eye knowledge and intuition and things of that nature, okay, that are being brought to us, whether it's in living or awake form, dream form, or so forth. Let me read to you what it says, though, to help you really utilize the crown chakra to its fullest extent. My divine internal knowledge, eternal, not internal, my divine eternal knowing is seamless with the creative force, love, and the intelligence of the universe. I am the essence of love personified. So there's a very strong influence that Spirit wants many of the signs, and I guess that would affect all of us then, to realize and to recognize we have these gifts. And it's really important to use them whenever we can, and to remind ourselves about that very thing. So you might want to take a little snapshot. You can say that. You'll notice the difference, and it's an energetic thing, like I said, but you'll feel it. You'll feel the opening, if you will. You can add your own. You can meditate, do whatever you do. You probably already do it anyway. But then along with that, like I said, is this beautiful clear quartz, is the crystal that they're showing as an example that can be used. There's so many. And the clear quartz is that of wisdom, awareness, and focus. I focus with clarity on my spiritual purpose. So spirituality is very, very pronounced this year, and there's a good reason for it. We had the eclipses along with the retrogrades, along with, just so much that the body's gone through, and it's been exhausting, and it's been a slower period, but this is stopped. This is when we basically start the new year of 2025 and just gangbusters, right? Hit the ground running, if it will, while getting that beautiful Taurean energy in this, being in this season, sun season and birthday season of Taurus. So utilizing this and focusing on your dreams, your aspirations, and really pinpointing what your needs are, writing them down. The vision boards are huge. I started to say, though, the eclipses are a big part of the energy that are still giving us stories. And we have them every 6 months. They change signs every 18 months. And right now we've got the North Node, which is the direction we want to go, in Pisces, your fellow water sign, one of the most spiritual, intuitive, psychic, other realm, other world, knowing, all-knowing, 12th sign, a little bit of every sign, love, compassion, everything, just right there. So this is about really focusing on your dreams this month, because with all the planets forward, And then, of course, Pluto will be going to retrograde in May. It'll be notable for a certain extent, but it does it every year. It's a further away energy. The more personal ones, like your sun, moon, rising, Venus, and I would say Mercury too, because that's about a communication. Those are very notably felt, and they go through the planets go through each sign quicker with those. So you can handle the Pluto in retrograde. That's fine. That's about our deepest thoughts and transformations. That's all a part of it too, and that'll be the messages and the wisdom that you'll be imparted. But yeah, so that's the chakra of the month of May, and that's, like I said, the predominance for all signs so far. The most pulled or shuffled. So now I'm going to read your tarot messages, and I want to say that I like to change that up every month. And what I'm doing is using a new deck as well. It's not new to me, but it might be new to you. It is known as a spiral deck for the reason you see. It is the infinity sign, the ever never-ending, beautiful, unlimited, infinite world we live in, and the way that we can receive and just anything that we can think about, we can actually create, right? And if it's not in this lifetime and it's that time of our life, we're like, maybe next time around, then make that a part of it too. Write it down. It's so much more intense, and it's so much more, I think it becomes more real when we do all of the senses, and we think it and we write it and we feel it and so forth. So yes, and I love the illustrations on this as well. So I'm going to do the 6-card spread, which is going to be the past, present, and future. And I'll explain the messages as they come and let you know that I will end with a oracle message as well, and that I truly appreciate you and your energy, and I'm drawn to your empathy. I really am. And I feel like a lot of you are empathic and you do sense a lot. So do make sure that you protect yourself and do a little ritual, whatever you have to do to ward off anything that doesn't feel good or any toxicities that are around you. That's coming very strongly in right now. But having said that, we'll move forward to see what the cards actually say. And this is the more recent past that we'll start with. And this is going to be the 3 of Cups. Wow. What a great start. That is you. That is your, well, that could be you, Scorpio, and Pisces. The 3 cups, the 3 water signs. This is celebratory. This is this type of lighter feeling of, whew, I can breathe again. I can dream again. I can imagine. I can receive the messages clearer now. It's time to have fun. It's spring, but it's going to be summer. And then you have your beautiful birthday and sun and solar return season, as well as a very special thing for you, Cancer. You're going to have Jupiter enter your sign on June 9th for a full year. Now, Jupiter only enters our sign every 12 years. So it happens, 3, 4, 5 times a year in your lifetime? But the magic of it is that Jupiter's a benevolent planet, and it loves to bring luck and expansion and growth and special things that don't happen in other times. And it's worth the wait sometimes. You're like, yes. And you write down, once again, even more of what you want to see happen during this special year with Jupiter in your sign. It also could represent that it could be something happening in the fall. I see the pumpkins and the changing of the season. Now you usher in summer, which is all about the brightness and the sun and the shine. This might have something to do with a festive event happening, from a childbirth to a wedding to anything of that nature that makes you filled with heart and your friends and family involved and so forth. And that could definitely happen in the fall, which isn't too far off. So that's something to keep in mind. And 3, of course, is always about growth and expansion anyway. And it's about mastering something, whether it be the mastering of your friendships and adding to you and releasing the ones that don't work, right? Pisces is in the north position and Virgo is in the south, and Virgo is the opposition of Pisces, of course, but always together because of that very reason. And that's how the eclipses usually work, where they have the 2 signs that are their polar opposition, but they grow from each other, and they're always there's a magnet kind of pulls them to each other for that reason. So yeah, that's something to consider. That's your recent past, but it's something that maybe a new understanding or something that's just recently come to light is something worth celebrating. So then to clarify that, you have the Four of Pentacles. Okay, well, listen, this is stability. Four represents stability. The four walls, the four, legs on a table. Without one, it's not going to be as stable, right? The foundation is definitely affected. Well, you're making sure, and you're very, very resourceful. I've known that about Cancers. You want to make sure you have enough for whatever it is you want to celebrate, where you want to travel, a child, like I said, if there's a new child or a furry, beautiful new member of the family you're thinking about. You want to make sure that you're being very wise and sometimes overly so. You can be a little bit too stingy, but we don't want to go there. We want to keep it as balanced as possible. It's a very great thing to be frugal, though, when you need to be. And if you don't need to buy 4 of those lipsticks, I use that as an analogy because I'm a lipstick person. I mean, it's not lipstick per se. It can be, I make my own lip balms. Something on my mouth, something on my lips, keeping them moist. Just have to do it. But, which is why I started making them, because, well, you can do anything you put your mind to, but and they're great because then you know exactly what's going in. And then anyway, that's it's not about me per se, but you get what I'm saying. This is you being very strategic about your money because you have something in mind and you want to invest properly, and it's really a wise thing to do, especially right now as a collective. I mean, you know that. I don't listen a lot to things, but I certainly do know things, and so it's being very, very, very smart. And that's not unusual for you either, Cancer, I might say, because I know a lot of Cancers. Keeping that steady balance will only do you good. Putting something away for the rainy day, as the saying goes. Not too much, though. Do enjoy yourself. Do have fun. Do let go, let loose, okay? So the present energy is Death. Now, please, if you're new and you've never seen this card and you're just like, what? It does not represent, on the whole, death. It represents the death of something, of a thought, a relationship, yes, but one that needs to go, one that's going to benefit us, the one that we subconsciously or consciously have been creating. And that is an absolute truth. We do so many things, we manifest, and we think there's no way I wanted that. Actually, you did. And in the future, a lot of times you find out exactly why you did it. But in your case, Cancer, I think you know exactly, and you actually manifested this for all the reasons that you knew were going to end up in the way that they do, because that is your gift, as I said from the very beginning. So transformation has definitely taken place. I think you're excited about it. I think that it was inevitable. And I can tell you that it is happening for so many people, along with the planets and the changing of their signs this year. This is an unprecedented time to be alive. And if you're interested in all in astrology, it's the cycles that happen. You can look from centuries back and going forward. It's remarkable and it's exciting, but it's good. It's good changes, always for our betterment. So that's happening right now. Something, like I said, transformative. And then oh my goodness. Now this has come up a couple of times, not in this place, in the present, because of this change, because sometimes it's not easy to make changes for anybody. I get that. But I think you motivated yourself. I think you wanted this. You're celebrating it. It's probably already in the making and happening. But you've got the Ace of Wands. So it's this new beginning, this fiery, passionate start. It's passion in every realm of your life. It could be relationships, absolutely. Partnerships of some sort. There's not 2 here, but it involves someone else. It definitely does. So what a great way to clarify that the change you made, though you may have been hesitant and you may have thought far too long on it, and you may have even wanted it sooner, but you really didn't have any control because there were too many things that were holding a lot of us back. It was not time to make those changes. It's happening, and it's powerful. And with Leo, Mars and Leo, and this is fire. This is the wands. This is Leo, Aries, and Sagittarius. Bam! Okay? Power. Oh my God, it's celebratory. It's absolutely celebratory. And I love when there's death, there's the beginning, of course, that's the whole cycle. Death represents Scorpio. It represents the 8th house, life, rebirth, transformation, inheritance, all those things. So I'm really excited. I would love to know what that is. If you like what you're reading and you're resonating at all and it makes sense, please do like this channel. Please do subscribe. I am on a mission to get my 500 subscribers. Yeah. And it's free. None of it costs anything. I know most of you that watch, this is how YouTube works. It's so supportive. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate you very much. And then we have your present, your future, forgive me. The 6 of Cups. Well, this is definitely nostalgic. This is you once again. It has been a time when we have retrogrades, we have people come from our past. The most recent retrograde that went direct was the Venus retrograde, which also lasted way too long with both the shadowy aspects. In fact, the shadow will end completely on, I believe it's May 14th. But, it's Venus going direct is really great because it's about your love. It's about your passions. It's about your creativity. It's about filling those cups. It's about your friends and your sentimentality and, and thinking about them and remembering the fond times and not staying in the past too much. But it's so hard with our brains and being, a human spirit in a human body to not do that. And certainly with energies that actually create that more for us. So yeah, something really sentimental is affected you and it could be these friends you're going to meet up with. It could be a reunion. I have a high school reunion coming up, for heaven's sakes. That's beautiful. And I feel it's a good time. And it's a remembrance of things that made you happy. And we all want that as often as possible, right? And we want to think and dwell. If we're going to dwell, we want to dwell on that. And then to clarify the 6 of Cups, you have the 8 of Pentacles. Wow, this is mastery. Okay, 3s and 8s represent growth, mastery, hard work. I don't care what it is you're doing. You may love your work. I love my work, but it still requires time and energy. And like I said, as a cup, water, sign that you want to make sure that you're not overdoing, okay? 8 is abundant. It is one of the most prosperous, abundant things. You will get and reap your rewards, especially when Jupiter enters your sign on the 9th of June for an entire year. Imagine it, believe it, write down your intentions, write those vision boards, or use pictures, whatever you do, however you do them. It's happening for you, okay? You're going to see it, but it will require your efforts. And even if it's sitting and thinking and meditating on it, and that's an effort, right? And that can bring things to you as well, as much as any other thing. I want to put that out there for everybody. I'm finally getting that. Hard work doesn't have to be, like the point where you're burnout. It's just dedication is a better word. Just being fully dedicated and reaping the rewards, beautiful Cancers, for the month of May 2025. Now let me finish, like I said, with your oracle messages. And this is the beautiful Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron-Reid. And I'm going to pull 3, okay? I like 3. 3 is the divinity number. It's a Trinity number, excuse me. 3 divinity, and I love the fact that I use a lot of different divinations because they are so wise and knowledgeable. And my whole purpose really is to spark your interest and to make you realize just how you can create and manifest and how you can be whoever you want to be, with the right passion, the right amount of, energetic trust and faith. And I just want to spur that on. I want to be your cheerleader. I want to make you happy. I want to make you feel uplifted. Okay, that's what this channel is about. And I don't think anybody here can deny wanting that at times. So we have for you, first and foremost, yang. Okay, so there's yin and yang, right? This is masculine. Of course it is. Leo is one of the masculine signs. And Aries has Venus going into Aries and Mercury. So once again, another very potent masculine sign. Ironically, though, Venus is the most feminine. So Venus is going into Mars, the most masculine, and there's going to be that beautiful yin and yang, kind of like Mars and Venus, together. I mean, it can be super powerful. It's fire and air. It's like, just all the beneficial things. You may have fire in your chart, and you can look that up so easily. There's so much more to you, like I say, always read more than your sun sign, because it gives you a full, in-depth description of you and the energies that can happen for you for that month. And it's fun and it's exciting, and I mean, it's not a guarantee, nothing is, but it's pretty accurate a lot of times. So that's the first one, yang, and feeling that and utilizing, because that gives us our energy and our strength too. There's some absolute positivity when it comes to the masculine energies. And then we have the second card, which is why. Okay, so you've been contemplating things. I mean, I think a lot of us have, but that's number 4. That's I forgot to mention this is 1. So it's a new start in that transformation. That's very clear in the ace once again. So it's like, bam, and the wand's absolutely masculine energy. But why? Like a child, why? Well, because you have to go and ask the guy at the store, but why? Well, because they are the ones who take care of usually the people. Well, but why? I will never, ever have all of my questions answered. I know that much. And you can ask as much as you want, and you can read about it and all these wonderful things, and you can ask your guides and your spirit guides. You know that. There's always answers for us. I don't remember pulling this card. I like it a lot. Yeah, so keep asking those questions, because you'll get the answers. Oh yeah, you most certainly will. And last but not least, Cancers, you have your last message, and that is the fates. Oh, 17, one of my favorite numbers, equaling 8. Now you've had a few 8s. It's on, Cancer, okay? The fates will bring you what you want. Look at all the stars. Look at the bliss. Look at the love. Look at the, just the prosperous, beautiful energy that's surrounding you. And you're creating it. You're making it happen. Please continue to do that. You're beautiful. You deserve it. You're enough. All of those things. Tell yourself that over and over and over again. And I just can't thank you enough for spending the time and sharing your time with me and allowing me to read for you today. So have a beautiful, beautiful month. Have a beautiful Memorial Day weekend celebration. At that point, it'll be Gemini season. That's a whole nother energy and vibe. And until then, take great care. Bye for now.